10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our real quick show where we show you 10 of the biggest and the best books that are releasing this Wednesday to your local comic book store, or if you shop with us at infinityflux.net. They're all up there right now. You can order them. That way you don't have to worry about them selling out. They're already available and will either ship out to you or they will be ready in your pull box at the store.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a big week of books.
Yeah.
Some heavy hitters and number of books is a lot. So let's get into it.
We're going to start with Batman number 159, which is part 2 of Hush 2. And in this one, Batman bends over backwards to save the Joker's life after Hush beat him nearly to death last issue. Whatever he can do, he will to save the Joker. But Jason Todd is none too happy with that as he enters the scene. And he's very upset with Batman that he's trying to save the Joker's life. And maybe it brings them to fisticuffs. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, next up, I've got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. This is a really interesting one. After the events of the last issue, where Spider-Man was investigating Rhino's house, he was confronted by what seemed like all of his villains all at once. What is going on with that? Well, it only gets crazier as Peter or Spider-Man starts missing giant gaps of time in his life. He blinks and he's somewhere else in the middle of a conversation. So what is going on with Spider-Man? You have to read to find out, but a very interesting issue.
Next up, we've got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 2. And in this one, John Jones is finally acknowledging that there is another voice in his head talking to him. He's not happy that it's there, but he's acknowledging that it's there. And this voice calls itself the Martian, but not a literal Martian. It's just it describes itself as very alien from very, very far away. And it knows that there is a man named Trigger who believes that the planet has been overtaken with aliens, and he's going to go to a very public place to do a very bad thing in order to rid the world of these so-called aliens. And John Jones and his Martian mind partner have to go and try to stop him.
Well, next up, I've got a big one. This is Superman number 25. So we had the Summer of Superman special, which leads straight into this. This is a really awesome issue, as the big surprise in the previous issue, Mercy Graves has a version of Lex Luthor that is just as evil as the original one, and she is going to unleash it on Superman and Superwoman. A lot happens in this issue, and it definitely sets up the future of the Superman story. You don't want to miss this one.
Next up, we have Predator versus Spider-Man number 1, the next in the Predator versus series of books. This one takes place in a time where Peter still works for the Bugle, he and MJ are still together, and it takes place during summer where it's really hot, so that adds to the tension. Peter, or Spider-Man, stumbles upon some grisly murders, and he thinks it's the work of a serial killer, but we know that it's the work of a predator. We don't see much of the predator in this, but he does seem a little bit more psychotic than I think we've seen predators act before, so that's going to lead to a really cool story of Spider-Man trying to save the city from this guy.
Okay, so I've got One World Under Doom number 3. This one's cool. So in this, we saw previously that the Avengers have teamed up with a bunch of villains. They've got a mutual enemy in Doctor Doom, and they are going to prove that he is up to something bad now that he is Emperor of the world. And they are going to attempt to create a full frontal attack on Doom, all the while a few of the magic users are going to check in with some of the world leaders, check inside their heads and see if are they Doom bots, what magic spell has come over them, and what they find is even more horrifying.
Right.
So yeah, don't miss that one.
Next is Assorted Crisis Events number 2. This is a little bit different from the first issue, where that one followed one character through this crazy time warped world. This one actually stays a little bit more local with a guy named Jesus, and we see different moments in his life, but out of order. We see when he and his family came to America, when he, as a kid, dealing with his alcoholic father, the death of his mother, the death of his father, him getting a job at a slaughterhouse. So we basically just stick with him the whole time, but the book builds towards something at the end. It's kind of hard to explain, but it does build towards some weird timey-wimey stuff at the end. And there's a visual cue in this too on every single page that helps build this like
Mm.
crazy story of what's going on.
Next up, I've got Justice League Unlimited number 6. This is We Are Yesterday Part 2. Part 1 was in Batman Superman's World's Finest. This is Part 2. And in the previous issue, we saw Gorilla Grodd back in the past, where that book takes place, get confronted by a future version of himself. What is this all about? Plus, we saw Airwave in a previous issue of Justice League turn out to be working undercover for the bad guys. All of those questions are answered in here. How is that possible? How did Gorilla Grodd get so powerful? All of that is answered in this issue.
And last for me is Bug Wars number 3, and this is very cool, very action packed. The first half of the issue is big action with Slade and Wista and General Augustfall trying to fight their way out of the blood hole. And then the second half is a little bit quieter, but we do learn a lot more about Wista, who is the Spider Witch.
Yeah.
We learn more about Slade's father, how the Mites view Slade's father, what they thought about him when he was still alive. We learned a little bit more about the amulet that Slade has. So we're starting to get some answers to some questions, plus some really cool bug squishing action.
Yeah. Last for me, I've got Absolute Wonder Woman number 7. This is continuing our 2-issue kind of interlude story. This one's really cool because we got the title of the 2-issue story in the previous issue, but it didn't make much sense. Well, it's all explained in this one as Diana is in a form of a battle, but it's interspersed with her hearing a story from her mother and how that story over the course of her life she's trying to understand it, and eventually it all comes together in the end. But the art is beautiful in this one, and we learn a little bit more about the overall story of Absolute Wonder Woman by the end of it. So a great issue of the book. And that is it for our top 10 Quick Comic Picks Weekly. That's what it's called. Thank you so much for watching. Again, head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can order these books. They are live right now. So get them while they're hot before they are sold out because they are some great books this week. And until next time, see ya.